You are listening to the Nyx Archive, the official Relic RPG actual play podcast. You can play Relic absolutely free right now by going to relicrpg.com. And welcome back to the Nyx Archive. I am your Game Master C.D. Corrigan. I am joined today by the lovely Miss Maddie Hammond.
Hello, I'm Maddie playing Farah.
And Miss Marissa Sorry, I tripped. And Miss Marissa Montero.
I am here playing Skink.
And our first guest of the podcast, Mr. Scott Corrigan.
AKA Jet Support.
Scott is, of course, my younger brother and co-conspirator on a number of Relic projects, so you might have heard me mention him before. Usually, not in a bad way. We are going to jump... the look. We are going to jump right back into the events as they are unfolding. Our diminutive dungeon delvers were approaching the Long Hall Tavern, everyone carrying a lovely collection of fried fish from an angry fae. When the tavern exploded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And go! You see the Long Hall detonate. The upper windows blow out, glass flying everywhere from all different directions. The entire wall facing your side of the street, the direction you're approaching from, the entire wall blows out in a shower of timber, plaster, and stone. People scream. You see people scattering in all directions. You see people inside not scattering in all directions.
Oh.
Question. How close
Yes.
are we? Are we going to get concussive blast? Like, do we get tossed back?
I'm going to say you're about 100 yards out when this happens. So you definitely feel like, it feels like a wet, warm blanket just like smacking you in the face. But you're not close enough for it to be like super dangerous for you. Just this wash of heat and force and wind that kind of like staggers you for a moment.
Sure.
You see shapes running and moving inside the opening that has been blasted into the side of the long hall. What do you do?
Farah's like, instantly opens her coat, rummages through the bag, opens it, shovels fish into her face.
I was just about to do the same. I was like, I ain't not missing out on this fucking fish. Absolutely not.
Wow.
Well, there's nothing I can do immediately.
Yeah.
So that's Farah. Jet.
Also, doing the same, just like absolutely not, and just...
It's not an absolutely not. She's just like, she wanted to taste it before she has to deal with this. She's like...
Exactly, I'm not finishing it.
Skink, I'll give you a moment to react before I narrate anything.
No, Skink is just stock still and watching and wondering, was that elf lady in there? Because I really did want to talk to her today. And like also like wondering, was that elf lady there? And is this her fault?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, and just standing still watching, because at this point I think everybody knows that Skink and Farah kind of like to go where death is happening.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as I get my fish first.
Can't imagine why.
And so I'm just like standing there watching. Like I'm in like pure observation mode. I'm like, I know that they're eating, but I'm just like, I'm not even hungry yet. I'm just like taking it in.
Jet, go ahead and Jet, roll a precision for me.
That is going to be that's a 6.
You feel, as you kind of look up to watch this explosion unfolding and you're like shoving fish in your mouth, you feel something tugging at your bag and you look down to see Pip gulping down a piece of your fish. And then he flies back over to Skink.
Nice.
Just want to be her friend. I would have... I wouldn't have shared.
I think Skink sort of like absently... Wait, do I have my own bag? Was Farah carrying all of them?
No, I think all three of you have a bag.
Okay.
2
I
other
think-
bags!
Skink, like, sort of absently is, like, still watching the explosion, reaches into the bag and just like hands up another piece to Pip.
He only takes a little nibble. He's full.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
And then like sort of and then absolutely notices there's still fish in my hand and then just like eats it. whatever
all
Pip
three
left
of you,
behind.
the fish is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like this is just savory and just the right amount of moist, and there's just this blend of spices in there that like just sits on your palate and stimulates all of your senses just so nice. The aroma kind of gets into your sinuses. It warms you.
Farrah's like, oh my god, that is amazing.
I did at least get my bite in, right?
Yeah.
And then she's gonna quickly assess. She wants to see, does it look like it was an accident, or is there a bad guy that she can spot? Because that's gonna determine what she does next. What do you want me to roll?
Are you guys getting closer? Let me ask you that first.
Yeah, she's gonna like put another piece of fish in her mouth. I'm not gonna lie, and then walk closer, carefully and slowly, trying to assess.
This feels so Cape Cod right now. Everybody watching a disaster unfold while like
just eating fish and chips.
Yeah.
Can I do a quick precision check to see if I see Mysterious Dude?
Right. Okay. So, Jet, precision check for that specifically. Farrah, as you are walking closer, no check necessary for this information. You see what looks to be spellfire going back and forth within the hole.
I'm going to use my blooded ability or thing that I do as a berserker. So I think it costs me 3 since it's my 3rd class, right?
Yes. I can pull it up and check if we need to. But it'll be 4x the base cost.
Oh, 4 times. Okay, so, but I am fine. I can do that. That just puts me down to 1 stamina for now. We're not in initiative yet, right?
Not yet, no. We'll say anything you're doing to like set up going into it when we get into initiative, we'll just start you at that deficit.
Sure.
But we'll say you trigger it going
Okay.
in.
All right. And for blooded, I inflict 1d4 common. I'm going to do piercing. Actually, I'm going to do slashing damage.
There it is.
On myself. My next weapon or spell attack roll gains a bonus equal to twice the damage taken this way.
So since we're not in initiative yet, we'll say that triggers just as a free action at the start of combat if you guys get into a fight.
Do you want me to roll the d4 now?
Go ahead and roll it and just have it recorded. Just in terms of like action economy, I'm not going to take away from your first turn.
I'm sure we're not going into a fight. It could just be an argument.
You guys could turn around and run away. I don't know. You're crazy.
Nah, she's like... So Farrah at this point is also like, wonder if the elf lady was harmed, because we did want to talk to her. Also, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that Farrah and Skink are drawn to chaos to some extent.
To some extent.
So I rolled a 4. So, my next weapon or spell attack gains a bonus equal to twice mine, so 8.
Does a 4 get you to a bleeding round?
Great question. Let me check. I did piercing. You
did slashing.
I did do slashing.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay. Just something to note.
Yep.
For other reasons.
Yes. So I have an open wound, but I'm not quite bleeding yet, right?
Not quite yet.
So.
Good to know. Okay. Farrah is moving forward and activating that ability. That's going to be you kind of leading into this. I'll give everyone like kind of a beat before things kick off here. Jat, you rolled a precision check. What'd you get?
I did not roll it because but I will do so now. That is going to be a 9.
9. You do not spot him, but you think you've made a pretty good sweep.
All right.
I'll
Okay.
point out, just above the board, it's possible to make a good detection check. No, you've done a good detection check, and there's just nothing to find.
There's just nothing there. Yeah, no, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He scrunches his face a little bit after he does a sweep, and then just pulls out his hammers and just kind of gets ready.
Lovely. Skink, anything going into or out of this scenario?
I think Skink is gonna sidle like alongside. Like if there was a big hall and it's like next to another building or something, Skink is gonna move off to like the side and cast dark light on herself so that she's just a shadow watching things.
I don't think that's dark light. I think that's your aura of shadow ability. At the
Is that what
top.
that is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Because dark light is a light that you can see with dark vision.
Okay, great. I just want to
yeah.
be.
Yeah, you're gonna pop off
dark.
this aura of shadow. So Skink kind of sneaks off into like a sideway for a moment. This is like a reminder: twilight setting over Osk right now. The polar night is imminent, although not quite fully into that time of year yet. Snow blustering around, mixing with the smoke and cinders and debris. And this little patch of shadow kind of sticks to one wall on the street. You guys are all moving closer, heading in. Skink slinks off to the side, activates shadow magic, disappears into this like hazy fog of darkness. Farah moving forward, starting to activate her different abilities. Jat takes a look around.
I'll never let you go, Jack.
No, he's fucking dead. But Jat takes a look around. Doesn't see anything. Doesn't feel like he needs to watch his back. Flashes of spellfire and mage light zipping back and forth. Screams coming out from inside the long hall. As we get closer, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Lovely.
1d12, please. Let me know what you got.
No modifiers.
Wow.
No modifiers. We do have tiebreakers in the event we need them.
I got a
I remember
2.
this.
2 for Farah.
I have an 11.
I got a 6.
And then on top of that, can you all go ahead and tell me your armor for me, just for the sake of being able to keep track of things easier?
Sure. I have 6.
I have 5.
I have 4.
Lovely. Okay.
I don't know if I should be the tank, but here I am.
You guys approach the gaping hole in the side of the long hall. The hole is like midway through the common room, so just bisecting the building, right? There's rubble on the ground. It does look like you would be able to cross into, so just walk straight into the common room. The door to the long hall that you would normally enter through is about 30 feet off to the right of the hole, so that is also an option. Through the hole, you see the bar blasted to splinters, Roland kind of crawling away from this blast site. You see several figures you do not recognize wearing robes that Jat you recognize as similar to the man who's been following you. Slinging spells and attacking different individuals within the building, most of whom have gone down. You see that the stairway up to the second level has been completely demolished, but someone is standing at the top of the one of them is standing at the top of the stairs, slinging spells down at somebody. Farah, we're gonna say you were closest because you were kind of leading the charge on this. You see Lady Sive. Somebody slings, one of these robed figures slings just this bolt of fire straight at her. She contemptuously just snatches it out of the air and dispels the magic instantaneously, raises up her other hand, throws a stream of light back at him. He deflects it but staggers back. She runs over, grabs him by the face, and pile drives his face straight through the floorboards. You see them splinter. He hits the ground, but you see this flicker of ember light in his hand, and you see in this moment, time seems to slow as the adrenaline kicks in. You feel your heartbeat. You see her see this flicker of light blast past her up into the exposed second story of the long hall. She snatches at it with this like dispelling miasma of etheric energy. It misses. And you see she watches it go up and it hits the roof. You realize above the room that has been blocked off, for the investigation where Chester died, and these sacks of flakes have been stored, presumably. And you see Lady Sive just go, fuck, as this enormous blue explosion rips the roof off of the long hall. The two figures who were in that fight are buried under a mountain of rubble. Part of the building collapses. You see the other part of the building towards the main common room, and the entrance is still freestanding, compromised. And everybody kind of staggers back and is standing back up. Several more of these robed figures are in there. Several of them are wielding knives and daggers, and they are trying to detain, kill, capture Roland and a few of the other people within. You recognize a few of the guys who were with Lady Estelle before. Jat, you're up.
Jat is going to go ahead, because he knows who these people are. He's just going to go ahead and initiate from the get-go Dance of Ravens,
Okay.
which is, now, correct me if I'm wrong, it costs 5 to cast, but to sustain it each round I have to use 2 mana.
I believe that is
Or,
correct.
I'm sorry,
yes.
stamina. Sorry, stamina.
Yellow
does that
stamina, blue is mana.
Right. Does that stamina drop now or the next round?
No, so that's a sustaining cost. So that
Got
comes
it.
out during your recovery phase.
Cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and just cast that right now. The way
So
that he had... Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, so that's just, we're going to walk through it piece by piece because it's
Yeah.
our first combat in the show. Does that cost an action to activate that ability?
Yes, it is
Okay.
It is one action.
One action, great. You've activated Dance of Ravens. Describe how that looks.
Yeah, so basically I start performing a dance, which the way that I describe, that all of his dances are going to be, and the way that he initiates it is he clangs his hammers together. That's how he initiates all of his spells. And then he just starts going to the motions. What happens is that my allies within a 30-foot radius, as long as I'm sustaining this ability, creatures I designate get a +2 to spell attack rolls and +1 to spell check target for each dance counter that I have, which I gain 1 for sustaining this dance.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you get one immediately for activating it, I believe, as well.
Right. Exactly.
So you are, just keep track. You've got 1 dance counter right
Mhm.
now. You have 1 action remaining on your turn. You guys see Jat clacks his hammers together, and this like tuning fork tone begins to sound and has this like etheric vibration of magic through the air around him.
Mhm. And then for another action, I am going to go ahead and just...
Movement is also an action, FYI.
Right. I am going to go ahead and just search the room to see any potential hazards, other targets, that sort of thing, besides the 2 that we just witnessed.
Okay, go ahead and pop off a precision for me.
That is going to be a dirty 12.
Dirty 12.
I'm sorry, dirty 13. Sorry.
Okay. You clock something that I think is particular to you, as in this would have been harder for someone else to see, but for you, you're going to clear the target. You see a shimmer in the back corner of the freestanding part of the common room
Mm-hmm.
that you recognize as a kind of veil that Bruneskull creates to hide.
Okay. Got it. I am... That's information for me and no one else.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
That's going to be Jat's turn. We are going to move next to... You guys haven't actually engaged with anybody yet, so the next 2 of the robed figures, you see one is like pushing his way past the rubble and is like trying to dig and see, and just immediately gives up on like recovering their companion from under there, turns and goes, "Find him!" And then fires off another spell kind of into the room. One of the tavern keepers, tavern patrons, gets just clipped by this energy and goes down. There's like a spray of like blood that immediately flash freezes against the wall. Another one kind of runs off out of sight. You wouldn't be able to see him from there. And we're going to go to Skink's turn next.
So, are there any dead bodies that I can see that have like come out of the hall from the blast?
I'm going to say right now you're like across the street. So you're about just establishing you're about 30 feet from the hole.
Okay.
Go ahead. Blast came outward. Roll 1d4 for me.
Rolling a D4. Came out 3.
There are 3 humanoid dead bodies.
What luck?
There's plenty of injured people, but it looks like there was someone sitting by the part of the room that was annihilated, and there are just these burnt bodies lying on the street.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna raise 1 undead, just in case I need a little zombie corpse to do any battle for me.
Yeah, just a little zombie.
Just a little zombie.
Just
So
a
like,
little zombie.
yeah. So like, I'm under my shadow of darkness that no one can see, and I'm just like whispering and whispering my enchantments and like making my runic figures directed at the nearest dead person that I can see. This poor patron. And I'm just gonna like prepare my own personal soldier, my own little zombie.
So you are using Raise Undead. It's going to take 1 enthrallment slot, cost your mana, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to say you move up to within, I'm going to kind of fudge it a little bit. We'll say this body is within your control radius immediately. So you know that you have a radius where if your zombies go outside of it, they might go feral and just start attacking anybody and not listening to you ever again.
Right.
But we're going to say this one is within your bubble.
Okay, I was going to say, I could cross the street just to get closer.
Yeah, I'm going to say, so no additional movement required. This one was close enough.
It was close enough. Great.
But it'll be on you to kind of move within range to keep him with. Exactly.
Like a puppet with my strings.
And then I believe you have one more action, and your zombie takes his turn alongside you, so he's got 2 actions. So this burned and mangled, like all the bones are broken on one side, corpse just sort of like stands up and just starts staggering and just turns to face you, awaiting orders.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't like see who is the aggressor in this situation. So I don't know if it's a good idea to send it in there blindly attacking.
I will say if you're across the street, you could. I will say you can clearly see that there are a number of robed figures throwing spells around. You can decide, what to do with that information.
Okay. Then I'm gonna send my new friend to bite the closest closest robed figure that I can.
Okay.
It says I have to roll 1d12 plus 2.
Is it the spell?
No, this is a zombie.
No, that's to hit
zombie.
it.
Okay, sorry.
That's to hit it. All right, so
it's an attack roll.
It's a 9.
A 9 will hit this guy's armor. Go ahead and take a roll. Damage roll, sorry.
Damage roll. And wait, what do I roll for that again?
Let me see your zombie stats.
Wait a minute.
Bite, 1d8 piercing damage.
1d8.
Jesus.
That's a 4.
4 piercing damage, and you've hit him, so the zombie is welcome to attempt to grapple him as a free action.
All right, yeah, it's just gonna like, just go for like a hug. Just go for like a full, like arms around the whatever, like over his back. You know, like I think the zombie like came up behind him, like bit the neck, and is just like hugging around the robed guy.
Okay, so you can roll a might check. So, well, for the zombie, so it's going to be 1d12 plus 2. 1d12 plus 2 is what the zombie currently has. It goes up as you level up.
Okay, rolling 1d12 plus 2. That's a 9.
Okay, so my guy rolled a 4. So the zombie is currently grappling him. and dragging this guy around. I think that's a free action. The zombie has one more attack it can make. No, it moved. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was two actions. It moved. It bit.
It
Done.
bit him. Great.
Moved, bit, and it is grappling one of these robed mages. And this guy's just clearly was not expecting one of the burn victims to rise up,
come back,
just wrap him in a bear hug and start chewing on him. Right. Okay. That is Skink's turn. That is Skink's zombie's turn. I'm going to put Skink plus Zomb on my sheet. Last mage adept. Who is closest right now? I think that would be Skink. You're all kind of roughly at the same threshold, but no one's gone in. Yeah, you were like front. There. No one's gone into the building yet, right?
No.
I think the screams of his ally have alerted him. I'm going to take a moment to remind you guys. You don't have to. This is not the DM being like, this is the right move to do. But in Relict, for our listeners at home, anyone with mana can counterspell. It is yes. It is a way to challenge other spells. When monsters cast spells and whatever, when mages cast spells and all that kind of stuff, all of their abilities have different ranges of what it takes to counter them. You can use your reaction to bid to attempt to spend your mana to beat it. If you don't beat it, you still spend the mana.
Quick clarification. Okay, so it is spending the mana, not if you have mana.
You are bidding mana to try and stop it and using your reaction. If you underbid, you spent it, and that's going into your next turn. You have less mana.
Ooh. High risk, high reward. I get it.
High risk, high reward. That's the system. They can also counter you, FYI.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Blast Mage number 2 hears the screams of his ally. He is going to fire off a mage bolt at Marissa's zombie. Marissa, what is your zombie's armor?
Oh,
it is 5. Sorry, I looked it up.
I was like, let me pull up that page.
It is got
armor's 5.
5 armor and 7 health at your current level, so just keep that in mind.
Quick clarification. Quick clarification question. I am doing the Dance of Ravens, which I did cast with the initial targets of those two. Does that apply to her zombie as well?
Would it affect the zombie?
It's a 30-foot radius. That's the only thing I know.
What is the actual effect?
The actual effect is +2 to their spell attack rolls, but +1 to spell check targets.
That's if he's casting a spell
if he's
on
casting.
somebody.
Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm dumb.
No, good check. But for a zombie, doesn't do anything. Okay. Firing off a mage bolt at the zombie. That is a +3 to hit. 7 will hit that armor, so he's going to go ahead and roll damage. And I need my... Can't see. What is that number? I need high contrast die. That is 4 ether damage to the zombie.
So that knocks off the health or the armor?
That'll take his health down.
Okay. So knocked from 7 to 3, right?
Correct. Yes. So he's going to fire that one off. Zombie still holding his friend. And I think in lieu of a lack of other major targets right now, he's just going to do the same thing again. As a natural 12.
Ooh.
Fires off a natural 12. He is going to roll twice. That's 1. It's 5 more ether damage to the zombie.
I feel like that's gonna wipe it out. It only has 3 health left.
Yeah, that'll kill it.
Okay.
So
zombie down! Zombie down!
Yeah, this burning zombie enwraps this guy, gnaws on him, and then gets taken out by his ally. That is that guy's turn, however, and then is Farah up next.
I need to ask you, how many blood tokens do I have?
What is the text on getting a blood token for me?
Whenever you or a creature within 10 feet of you gains a round of bleeding, you gain +1 blood token. They can be used to up my blood mage spells. Blood tokens expire after 1 minute. Yeah. So, and then I have as many. +2 to my character level.
Yeah, so you can have up to a certain number. Okay, I'm going to say this. No one actively involved in the combat right now has gained a round of bleeding. That is a result of slashing damage. However, you are in a scene that has just been a giant explosion. So we're going to leave it up to a roll and see if anyone is bleeding. Go ahead. I'll let you roll for it. Roll a d12. 5 and under, no tokens. 6 to 10, 1 token. 11 and 12, 2 tokens.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
No tokens at the start of combat.
Okay.
But you can certainly gain some.
Sure. In that case, my immediate concern is Roland and anybody I see who is like in like civilians in harm's way. So can I with that next collapse, is Roland just done for, or should I try to go to him?
Roland is crawling away. He was kind of like protected by the bar, and I think you can see him behind the bar crawling away, trying to just get out of this room.
Okay. And the door is like to the side.
Yeah, so you're looking in the hole.
Okay.
Kind of at the threshold of where the wall has been blown open. The bar is like front and left of you. Big pile of rubble right there. Bar heading towards the back, looks a little bit more stable. The exit door is to your right as you walk through the hole.
Okay. But if I walk through the hole, am I going to walk in between people?
Yeah, there's like a whole fight happening there. A guy just blew up a zombie.
Right. The guy who blew up the zombie, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Lacerate. Remind me, actually I may not. For second class, is it twice the amount?
It's double, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna use Lacerate. I'm gonna make a spell attack. And, on a hit, it inflicts 1d6 slashing damage. So
lovely.
Roll to attack, plus my might. Whoa. That was only a 5.
Plus 2 from Jat as well, so that'll actually be a 7.
Oh, okay.
Because Dance of Ravens. So
Hey.
Thank
you...
Oh, wait. I also had my Blooded, which is a plus 8 to attack.
No, to a damage. Wait, hold on. Let me look up Blooded.
I have to.
I'm just going to look it up. Yeah, hold on. Because you did have that.
Your next weapon or spell attack roll gains a bonus equal to twice the damage taken this way.
Yes, plus 8 slashing damage on top of bleeding. On top of Lacerate.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Doesn't
you...
hit.
With a 7, you hit the mage who does not have an enormous amount of armor. How much mana did you spend on that?
6.
6 mana total. He is going to... I want to be clear. You're targeting not the guy who got bit by the zombie, but the guy who killed the zombie?
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to attempt to counterspell you.
Okay.
He gets 1d4 plus 2
Okay.
on his counters. He has to roll a 4 to counter this spell.
Okay.
She also gets a +1 from me.
He is... No, that's not... That's a different mechanic. He
sorry.
rolled a 3. Doesn't matter.
Whoa.
So he sees this bundle of just dark energy ripping through the ether at him and just goes, ah! And tries to like dismiss it, blasts straight through his defenses. Blood bursts off of this guy. How much damage did that do?
That is going to do, hold on just 1 second. 1d6 slashing damage.
Plus 8.
5 plus
bruh.
8.
5 plus 8. Yeah. So, let me look at Lacerate real quick.
Bruh. Jat's just doing like what he's supposed to do, and he just looks over and he's like, oh!
Oh my god!
Trying not to regurgitate the one bite of fish that he had.
This guy goes from looking pretty much like the second in command, like our leader went down under the pile of rubble, I'm gonna take charge, I'm experienced, I know what I'm doing here, to immediately just dripping like Doom guy in the bottom corner when you've got 3 health left and just blood coming out of everywhere, just I think there's a moment, yeah, there's a moment of this guy just being like, what was that? just nosebleed,
Okay, so Farah looks, I just need you to know, manic smile at this point.
Wow.
I think Farah is definitely on the bad guy's radar in this room now.
Sure.
For sure. But that was one action.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got
Jesus.
another one.
Knowing that this caused enough damage to give her a blood token, Farah has a manic smile on her face, just gleeful, a little alarming, one might say. And she has another action now, so she's going to, her objective, though she might use terrifying magic, her objective is actually to help a civilian in this case. So she's going to move towards Roland.
Okay, so you're going to move towards Roland. You gain a blood token. You hit this guy with this vicious spell. Move past him towards Roland. You're going to run past him. He's already used his reaction to attempt to counter that. He does not get an attack of opportunity. Mm-hmm. So you pass him and you're out of melee range right after that. You're not quite going to get to Roland, but you're within about 10 feet of him at this point. Okay. What does it look like when Farah gains a blood token?
I'm going to read the quote to you from the Blood Mage page. It says, "She was a terror, wading through the battlefield with a cloud of crimson hanging around her. It grew with every man cut down, and from it she wove horrors. To think such death could be born from the stuff of life."
Jesus.
So Farah, anytime she gains a blood token, there's this like blood haze that gathers to her. The blood gets like aerosolized and it's like attracted, which, you know what? She's an iron gnome. It's almost like you would imagine how she's magnetic almost to the blood. So it just clings to her. And right now she only has one, and it's not a lot. So it's not a huge haze or anything. She doesn't actually have. There's a haze effect that can occur where it actually obscures her, but it clings to her like a, they call it the red mist. Well,
is it kind of like that metallic liquid thing that's like real, like it's like that black obsidian like liquid that when it's
like
magnetized,
fluid,
but with blood.
Yeah.
It's a little thinner right now. It's more aerosol than solid, but eventually, if she gets enough of momentum. Okay, that is Farah's turn. 2 of the robed figures in less elaborate, these guys have like black and white trimmed robes and hoods and such, with these like fur mantles, and a lot of it just looks like, winter gear that anyone in town will have, but they do have, as they're moving and fighting, you see some little symbology, some emblems on them that is common to all of these guys who are moving and casting spells. 2 of them with less elaborate get-ups rush forward, knives in hand, charging at Farah. One of them is close enough to reach you. The other one is just out of range to get to you this turn. He is going to take a slash at you with a dagger.
Okay.
Farah, your armor is 4.
Correct.
He rolls a natural 12.
Well,
whoa.
Yeah. So there's that. He is going to, so he used 1 movement to get to you. He's going to do his second attack. He is going to do 3+ because of the crit. The DM does get to roll extra damage when he crits. 3 + 1 + 1 is 5 slashing damage to Farah.
So what's funny about Farah,
I know exactly what just happened.
is that she doesn't mind slashing damage.
So this guy comes in, slashes across your back with this like little short sword type dagger, kind of in between size, medium. I'm sorry. Wow, I said a lot of words just there. Slashes across your back with this little dagger blade. It's hard because daggers today are smaller, but daggers in medieval times were closer to short swords, but short sword is a mechanically different thing.
Nerd!
Yeah.
Nerd!
Slashes across you, draws a welt of blood up from your shoulder that immediately diffuses out into the mist, thickening it around Farah as she gains an additional blood token and a round of bleeding.
Excellent.
Is there, please tell me that Farah has one of those looks like it was supposed to hurt and she looks like she's in so much pleasure right now. Like,
yeah. So you see as the blood like mists into her, the cloud that's going to start to form around her. She's like, it's akin to ecstasy. Like, or
yeah,
maybe
exactly.
not quite that dramatic, but it's like,
that's what I was thinking.
She lifts up because she was like running, and she like reacts to it a little bit. Her shoulders come back because she feels it, and she like looks over her shoulder and it's a smirk. Like this is not something that you want to necessarily do to her.
I thought the tail play was I was gonna say I thought the tail play was gonna be the weirdest thing that happened to these episodes, but
no.
I was gonna say it sounds very similar to like when a chiropractor pops you, and it's just like, oh.
No, I was thinking of, there was this video from a few years ago of this woman who was getting tased and she clearly liked it.
I know the one.
You know what I'm
exactly
talking about.
The one. Listen, my head rent free.
Yeah.
It's Jat's turn.
It's my turn.
GM's like, please move on.
Are there any of the rogue figures that are within like striking distance of me right now? Like physically with my hammers?
You are at the threshold of the building, kind of heading into it. The one that was bitten by the zombie would be like immediately right next to you. I'm not even going to make you use movement to get to him. And then the one that Farah absolutely blood fucked is like 10 feet past him.
But they're all alive.
Yeah, the zombie guy is like barely hanging on right next to you.
So zombie guy, I'm still sustaining my dance, by the way.
So first of all, start of round 2, gain another dance counter and go ahead and do your sustaining costs and your regeneration.
So a funny thing about that dance is it costs 5 mana to activate, but it only takes 2 stamina to maintain.
Yes.
So I am down to 4 stamina for my 6 to sustain it.
Yes. Go ahead and tell us what class Jat is primarily.
Jat is primary class Harlequin class.
Oh.
So I am going to sustain that with the cost of the 2 stamina so that my magic users can do magic things. But I am going to go ahead and use both of my actions to dual hammer because I got the 2 hammers. I'm just going to like incorporate the attack into the dance.
Sure. Yeah.
And just kind of like hammer into his head.
You're going to do a 2-weapon attack?
2-weapon attack.
Okay, so small weapons can be dual wielded without penalty. Dual wielding, you take an attack action, make 2 attack rolls, 1 for each weapon, determine hits and damage accordingly, and decide what order the weapons are swinging if they're different, but they're not, so you get effectively 2 attacks for 1 action on this.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll. It is D12 plus 2 for my might. That's a 13 for the first one. And that is a 9 for the second one.
Okay, both of those will hit the zombie bit guy, who is not holding on a lot.
That's 1d6 per hammer, so 2 of them. It is a 5. It is a 6.
That will kill that guy. Describe how you take this dude out.
So, in mid-form, maintaining, see the guy, he's down, he eviscerates the zombie, and he thinks he's got that split second of like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. And it goes right into his face. And it just crushes it inside.
Nice.
I think Skink and Farah, you notice that this like resonant tone that has been like just maintaining from the hammers stays constant even as he cleaves through this guy. That was 1 action from Jat. If you want to move up to be engaged with anyone else, that's another action, or you can activate a different ability.
I will move. Where are
The
Farrah
guy who
and-
shot the zombie is 10 feet in front of you. Farrah has run past him, and the stabby guys are chasing her.
I will run towards. Ooh. I will make sure that I'm in the building, but I'm not engaging quite yet. So I'm going to go say, 10, 15 feet?
Okay, you don't want to engage, so you're going to vector kind of off to the side to avoid the other mage in front of you?
Yes, that's actually
Okay,
perfect.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to run kind of towards the door inside the building.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Still
Okay,
dancing.
so you have killed...
Just a dancy guy.
Okay, yeah, dancy guy. You have killed one of the mages. His buddy, who is kind of in the back of the room, is going to attempt... this is actually not going to be directed at you guys. Yeah, okay. So one of the other mages in the back of the room calls out this, like, arcane word, smacks his hands together, and throws off a scatterburst that is just this scattering of magical motes of energy blasting into a cone across the room. And he's going to do two of those, just and first one blows a bunch of tables apart, doesn't do anything. Second one, you hear a yell as Arilla comes out of a stealth invisibility and hits the floor. Skink, that is your turn.
It's gonna die.
So I was at the furthest away because I was in my little shadow. I, was controlling my zombie from afar, but I saw the two starting to go after Farrah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to move not all the way close to them because I like to do all my damage from like a little distance.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go towards Farrah and cast Decay. That has a range of 30 feet. So
yeah, if you move into the building, you're within range of all the guys kind of right in that little knot there.
yeah, so I'm still like as close to the wall as I can be within, and still under my shadow. And then I'm gonna cast Decay. So I have to now. I have the bonus from the dance, right? So my
you have a +2 to this attack.
All right, so I have to make a spell attack against a creature I can see. On a hit, inflict 1d4 infernal damage. So... Wait. So I just roll the d12 plus my own fortitude plus the 2 that he gave me?
Correct.
Okay. Math, man. Math. It's just 12 plus 3. That's all it is. It's all it is. Okay, plus 3. So it's going to be an 8.
8 will hit. Are you going for the guy who killed your zombie?
I'm going for the guy who cut Farrah.
Roger that.
Yeah.
8 will hit him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask, did you upcast this at all, or are you just casting it at the base level?
I think
so one mana is base. Every 2 mana additional, you add another 1 infernal damage.
Then I'm gonna knock it up to like 3.
Skink is rolling damage with Decay.
It's 4.
4 damage, and remind me, you attacked the guy who stabbed
Farrah.
Okay. He goes from looking great to looking pretty messed up pretty fast.
Pretty necrotic.
Okay, so that was 2 actions from Skink. You moved, you cast a spell.
Yep.
We are going to move on to the extremely bloody mage. He is going to turn, aim at Farrah, and cast Cryolance. All creatures in a 45-foot straight line from the mage must make a fortitude check, target of 8.
Can I do
Farrah?
the counterspell?
Yes. The counterspell cost is 1d6. It's randomized for monster stats. So, how much do you want to bid? I've rolled, and I will tell you.
It has to be mana, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't have any mana.
You don't have any mana left.
No, I have blood
Everyone
tokens.
everyone else is within range. Two things. You can spend blood tokens in place of mana.
Mm.
That is an
Okay.
option. But I will say the other two are within sight. Could counter if anyone wants to spend their reaction on this. You see this guy calling up this big column of ice magic aimed right at Farah's back.
I do have 5 mana.
3, 2.
I can.
I'm going to use it.
I'm okay.
Jat said it first. We're gonna pop off. Jat, how much do you want to bid?
I want to bet 5.
5 beats his roll of 2. So this guy calls up this column of ice, throws it, and Jat just
Clang.
and exactly. And the whole your vision vibrates a little bit as this magic thrum and this spell. You see it just kind of disintegrate as it leaves his hands. Damn it! He's gonna turn around and throw a. We're gonna say he throws a mage bolt at Jat as a retaliation to that.
Can I use my reaction now with 2 blood tokens?
Absolutely. How much do you want to counter for?
I only have 2.
You have 2, so you bid 2.
Yep.
With a 5. He fires this mage bolt off. You try and throw a countering magic back, but it slips past. That is going to be an attack roll on Jat.
I would like to use my minor class, the warrior
Ooh.
class, with reflexes, because I have just enough stamina to reflex.
Is it a reaction?
It is a reaction.
You've already used your reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, you only get 1. Sad day.
That would have been very cool.
Yeah.
My friend, he rolled a natural 12.
Oh no.
Oh, he a little bitch.
Yeah. Luckily, Mage Bolt is not a massive hit. Although if he keeps rolling like that. Okay, so you're going to take 4 ether damage on your chart for
Ugh. Ether
it
damage.
is ether damage, which is
All right.
nasty.
Let's see here. Ether. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's not too bad.
Okay. You don't hit any weird milestones or anything on that?
No, the milestone's 8 for some reason.
Okay, perfect. Because if I put it in the first 5 for a lot of the damage, low-level fights become bloodbaths.
Fair enough.
Okay. And also, I like being able to hit you for more dice. Okay, that is 2 reactions from the Blast Mage Adept. Farah, you're up.
All right. My mana resets, correct?
Yes. So, start of your turn, regenerate your mana and stamina. Anything
Okay.
you've spent up to your regeneration amount. You know how it works.
I do. I have no blood tokens left, right? They don't
No,
regenerate.
yeah, you use those for the counter.
Okay. And at this point, I am going to I have the person still trying to attack me, correct? Looking pretty bad from the necrotic.
You've got a guy slashing at you. You've got the guy who tried to freeze you, who's like 10 feet behind you at this point.
Uh-huh.
You've got another stabby dude coming up behind the first one right after you here.
Okay.
So 3 dudes right next to you.
Okay. I'm gonna conjure weapon.
Beautiful.
Yes. So, I'm gonna conjure a melee weapon, just a small one. It's actually gonna be a whip. And it's gonna be made of blood with a tip that is concentrated iron from the blood.
Yes. So Farah whips around. Ha! And this blood whip just snakes out. And so that's an action. What's your next move?
So my next move is to attack the second person coming in with a knife.
Okay.
'Cause the other one is necrotic right now, or has necrotic damage, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he's been hit pretty
hard,
heftily.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna roll to attack the other stabby guy, and it is a D12 to hit. What the heck? It's a 1.
plus your whip, I believe, is might. Let me double check. Whip.
It doesn't specify.
Yeah, so it's might because it's a melee weapon.
Okay. So that would be a 4.
A 4 hits an armor class of 4.
Oh,
These are not advanced monsters.
got it. Okay, great. In that case, it is a 1d10 halved damage.
Yeah, whips are weird.
It is slashing. It is a 2. I rolled a 2, so it's going to be 1 slashing damage.
1 slashing damage to him.
Yeah. I feel like she's shown that she benefits from bleeding to some extent. It might hurt, but she benefits from it. This is almost like a warning shot. Like, don't come at me.
Yeah. Go ahead. Make a might check for me. We're gonna try and intimidate this.
I love that. Does that count as an action? And do I have enough?
No,
time?
I'm calling for it. That's let's see if the warning shot was effective.
Ooh, that is a 11 plus 3. That is a 14.
On an 8, message received.
Okay.
Okay, that is Farah. It is now the knife guy's turn. Knife guy number 2 is gonna take the warning shot for a warning shot, turn and go after Jet. As Farah, you already used your reaction to try and counter this round, so you're not going to get an attack of opportunity. So he moves away from the range of your whip. There's that. He comes in. He's going to slash at Jet. So move, slash. Those are his moves, his actions. Knife slash does a... well, I know a 12 hits. It was a 10 plus 2, not a natural. 12,
Fair enough.
So, knife, 1d4 plus 1, 4 slashing damage for Jet.
Ah! Dick!
Are you bleeding at all?
Yeah. I need
Not
to
yet.
go. Okay.
Not yet. Roger that. There we are.
Because
Okay.
it's every 5, apparently, for
Yes.
slashing.
The guy who is already in melee combat with you, Farah, did not get the message. He's going to go for it again.
Okay.
10 plus 2 is going to hit.
Yep.
That's going to be 3 slashing damage. Second attack. 11 plus 2 is going to hit. Let's see it. 2 more slashing damage.
So I have acquired 2 more bleeding.
You get 2 more blood tokens. That also ticks off. Remember at the start of your turn, and if you didn't do it last time, do it now. Bleeding, it goes away at the start of your turn, 1 round of it, and you take an additional slashing damage.
So at 9. So I have an affliction.
Okay, so go ahead and roll an affliction for us.
I got an affliction this turn with these 2 pieces of damage. And I roll a d8.
D8 plus 0, because you don't currently have any.
5. Rattled, minor. Spell attack rolls suffer a negative 1d4 penalty to hit. So I'm rattled
Okay.
right now.
You are rattled. Farah is rattled. That is the ruffian's turn. We go back to the top. Jet, you're up. At the start of initiative here, you hear Brunskull shout something, turn and see a flash of light as he throws this. He drops his veil. He is hiding in the corner. He was trying to shield Aurelia. You see this dagger that is glowing, just made of moonlight, smacks into the back of the guy who is attacking you, and he just bursts into motes of light and vanishes.
What? Wild.
Wow.
Thanks,
Cool.
Dad.
Jet, good to see you. Get over here.
Working on it.
Aurelia staggers to her feet and limps over to Brunskull. She is clearly hurt.
Okay, so
It is
the
your
guy,
turn.
Yeah, the guy that was coming at me is dead now, right?
Yes.
Okay. How many more people are there?
Let's see. We've got
Their tangle.
we've got Bloody Blast Mage, who is kind of on his last legs.
Okay.
We've got Novice number 2. The guy who was fighting you is dead. The guy, and then Stabby McGee, who is fighting Farah. So 3
right.
left. All of them pretty bad shape.
Okay. I am going to disengage from my dance. And then I'm going to run over to Farah and just
Okay.
basically Superman punch, but with a hammer.
Nice.
Lovely.
Right into the back of his skull.
You're still dual wielding, so take 2 shots.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
That's going to be a 9. And that's going to be a 12. Dirty 12, though.
Dirty 12. Okay, 2 hits.
Yep.
Dual wielding is good, y'all. It is. With
That's
small weapons.
that's a 5, and that's a 4.
Yeah, describe how you kill Stabs McGee over here as he's knife fighting Farah.
So, get hit with the ether damage. I'm about to shit. Is this how I die? And then I just see him, and then we have the interaction with Brunskull, and I go, I'm working on it. And I just lunge into the back of this guy's skull and just crack down full body into the back of his skull and just burst his head.
This guy goes down in a heap. That is Jat's turn. That brings us to the knife guys are dead. Blast Mage Novice number 2. This is the guy who winged Aurelia. Is going to launch a Mage Bolt at her. She counters. That's 1 action from him. It's the reaction from Aurelia. He is going to turn and throw another one at Brunskull. We're going to roll for that. Brunskull is rolling much higher than this guy is. That's a 9 versus a 3. Brunskull counters that with his reaction. This guy is effectively neutralized for this turn. That brings us to Skink. You're up.
So who's left?
There is the extremely bloody advanced mage, the guy who is magically dueling with Aurelia and Brunskull, and that's it.
So the one who is one of them closer to me?
Yeah, the guy who Farah bloodied to hell and back has just been standing in the hole this whole time, being screwed every time he tries to do something.
Cool. Then, and he looks like he's already pretty badly
He's
off.
Extremely hurt.
Yeah, I think
Poke him.
I'm gonna run out of my. Oh no, maybe it's even cooler to stay in the shadow. I'm just as I move, just this little pool of darkness comes towards him, and I'm gonna use Maw of Darkness.
Jesus.
I'm just going. So I run up to him and then leap onto him, and then I will read from. I'll read from here. Horrible twisted fangs pierce the veil of reality around the target and attempt to maul it. So, that's what I'm doing. So
is it a save?
I mean, I have to wait. A save for who?
I'm just for him, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not a spell attack, right?
Yeah. So 1d6 Eldritch damage on a hit. So
you rolled a hit.
I have to.
So target you can touch. Yeah, it is a spell attack. Okay.
Yeah.
So that will be 1d12 plus your cleverness to hit him, because it's a Shadow Mage spell.
So
Doot.
1d12. 3. It's gonna be 6.
6 hits a mage with an armor of 5.
Ooh.
Also, fun fact, you stacked up some Shadow Mage synergy here, because by moving closer to him and maintaining your darkness, This
Yeah.
ability is going to deal damage to a target that is in darkness, which will trigger additional nonsense because shadow mages have an effect called horror when they do things to creatures in particularly scary ways. So, go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. So if it's more than I'm rolling 2d4, is that right?
You're going to roll
No.
1d6 plus 1d4 eldritch
1d6,
damage,
okay.
and he
1d6
is going to
plus
make a
1d4.
check against your spell save
All right. So
if he lives, which it may not matter.
so there's my d6 plus my d4. That's gonna be a 6 total.
6 total. Lovely. He is going to make a check. What is your spell save for Shadow Mage? It should be on the bottom left of your sheet.
It's 5.
5. Okay, so he's got to beat a 5 on a willpower check. Let's see how willpowery this guy is. He's a 2. He's got a decent willpower, so he might. All right, he does beat the check, so he's not frightened, but he is effectively he's got 1 health left.
He's got one
I
health left.
I'm like debating with myself whether or not to be like fudgy about it and be like, he dies, but no, he's got 1 health left. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's still up. Okay, so that's Skink's turn, but
Yep.
also I do want to point out you did something very strategic there by moving the darkness up to him to cast that spell. Not only did you trigger the horror effect, he's blind now,
Oh, cool.
which is real bad for a mage.
On the verge of death, blinded, can't see shit.
There you go.
Yeah, I love it.
It
Yeah.
is. This works out really well, actually. It is now his turn.
Wow.
He is
Woohoo!
blinded by darkness that is trying to eat him. He is going to run. Skink, you have an attack of opportunity you can choose to do as your reaction.
Yeah.
If you would like to make an attack with your dagger or
Yeah, I was
other
gonna
weapon.
say,
Yeah.
I leapt onto him
Yes.
with the darkness, and now all I gotta do is just
If
slit
you
his
hit
throat.
him, he's dead. So roll 1d12 plus whatever weapon you're using is either might or precision, depending. I think a dagger is either one.
dagger.
I've got it right here.
I don't know. I don't
Yes,
know
8.
anything. I'm a baby.
We're level 1. It's our first combat. This is fine. This is expected. This is where we're supposed to be. Dagger is a precise weapon, which means you can use either your precision or your might. So whichever one is higher. 1d12
Precision,
plus
for
that.
sure.
1d12 plus that.
Okay, cool.
Actually,
13.
what is your precision? I'm just curious.
It's 2.
It's 2. Okay, so 13. Did you roll a natural 12?
But no, because it's 11 plus 2.
Doesn't matter. Go ahead and roll your damage, just for fun.
Fun.
How bad
Okay.
do you murder him?
Right? This is about
It's a 3.
nice.
Yeah, so he's running in the darkness. The darkness is eating him, and then this little hand just comes around and slits his throat.
This bulb of darkness tackles him. Horrible noises. Dead body. That's what everyone else sees.
I love
I need
it.
the soundtrack. I need the soundtrack.
So Skink kills him on his turn.
Nice.
Because, like, of course he'd run. What the fuck else do you do?
Yeah,
that's
right?
what a normal person does.
I'm getting my ass beat.
That was
Yeah.
the extremely bloody guy. Farah fucked up. The ruffians are dead. Farah, it is your turn. There is one novice mage left
Excellent.
who is dueling with Brunskool and Arilla off behind you.
So Farah doesn't do well being rattled, especially from slashing damage, because like she likes blood. But has this affliction, right? It's gonna trigger her berserk, right? Because it says at the start of my turn, right?
Yep, there it is.
So I'm gonna choose a number. It like triggers berserking in her, and this is not good. So it's like you see her. She goes white for a second because she's losing blood, and then it's like a crimson wave over her face as her blood pressure picks back up, and anger. So before she was gleeful because, hey, she's being armed with her favorite weapon, essentially. And now she's mad. And I get to choose a number between 0 and my character level, which is just 1, so it's going to be 1. For now. But until the start of my next turn, any damage I deal against a target within 5 feet of me is increased by that amount. And attack rolls made against me also gain a 2-hit bonus equal to the same amount. So that is key with Berserker. Usually the damage that I do, or it's a lot of wagering against yourself, essentially.
Yes.
And next, she is going to experience Bloodlust, or use Bloodlust, which is a spell. It takes 4 mana for her to activate it. So long as I'm sustaining this spell, my speed increases by 5 feet for every blood token I have. So I have an extra 10 feet of movement. I don't even know if I need that at this point, do I?
No, but you're going full on anime, which, by the way, if there's not a fucking sick ass anime original soundtrack for this moment, Chris, you fucking failed. You failed, and you should quit.
I'll get on the royalty-free soundboards.
Yes. I think it's gonna, she's just full throttle, it happens, and then she has a scythe. That's how we say it, right?
Sickle. You have a sickle.
I have a sickle. I'm sorry. I have a sickle. And, sweetie, does it cost me? I'm sorry. You guys, viewers out there, you know that this is my husband who created the game. Just FYI. If you didn't catch that before.
No, we just all call him Sweetie.
Yeah. I think we actually all
Dungeon Daddy.
Because that makes it.
I'm related to everyone on this stream in ways that might surprise you. Now. Marissa, I have news.
Dad?
None of it's good.
Okay. So, sweetie, does it cost me an action to pull my sickle off of my back?
No, that is equipped to you. It's one of your equipped weapons, so it's considered in the mix.
So I whip out my sickle. I'm running full force at this last mage, and I'm gonna attack with my sickle.
Roger that. So we're going to say, I'm going to narrate that we're doing theater of the mind. Things are a little bit squidgy. Mm-hmm. This guy was in the mix between the knife guys, you, Arilla, Bruneskull, etc. I am, especially with the Bloodlust active, I'm not going to call that it's going to take an additional action for you to move to him. Because he's kind of right there, and also you have a whip that has the reach to get him anyways, so we're just going to narrate that's fair game in this chaotic situation.
We can also retcon it. I was thinking he was further away from me. I don't know why. So I don't have to do the Bloodlust.
Well, so if you trigger the Bloodlust and move, that's 2 actions, I believe, unless Bloodlust is free.
It's not. It's a spell. Okay. That's why I maybe shouldn't do it.
I'm just going to say that he's close enough for you to, be on him at this point.
Okay.
Because, this is a little weenie guy, and it's fine if we kind of fudge the last dude in the fight here. It's not going to change the outcome.
Okay. So, I can roll to attack?
Yeah, hit him.
It's funny, because this weapon doesn't even cost that much damage.
Well, you also have the whip out, so you can dual wield.
I'm doing that.
Obviously. Make 2 attack rolls.
I'm doing that.
All right, and my attack rolls are plus might, right?
Correct, yes.
So I just rolled an 11 plus 3 with the sickle.
That'll hit.
And a 10 plus 3 with the whip.
That'll also hit. Roll both damage.
So the sickle is just 1 damage. That's all.
Yeah, the sickle is flat 1 damage. The key with sickles is if you crit, you can trip people, which is nice.
Right. It is slashing. Does he didn't have any slashing damage before, right?
No.
Okay. And then the
He will now.
yeah. Then the whip is 1d10 halved, and I rolled a 6, so he now has 3 slashing on top of the 1.
Right. Okay. So this is he's a novice mage. He is. So you hit both times, absolutely. Farah charges, and just this whirlwind of fucking blood weapons coming at this guy. This is a weenie on the field. He is surrounded now by you guys, all of his dead friends, and Brunskull, who is going to go next at this point. There is no world in which this guy survives, so what I'm going to say is, how do you guys want to finish the fight? Fair game.
Oh, whoa.
I mean, Farah just is at this point, like, enraged. But she's not actually, she doesn't do a ton of damage at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be her that finished him off, unless I used Lacerate next. But I am not in the, I'm low on the, like, I would be, people would be ahead of me.
Farah has torn into this guy and just set him up to be finished off by whoever wants to take the shot at this point.
I'm next in the turn order, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Assuming Brunskull doesn't kill him. So if you want to do something, you take the shot.
Okay, if Brunskull's not going to do anything.
You see him charging up another one of those, like, moonlight daggers.
That's gonna explode him.
So wait, Brunskull is doing it?
Brunskull's readying an attack if you don't take the initiative.
Let me ask one more thing. What is is he a ruffian or is he a mage? He's a mage, right?
This guy's a mage.
What is he doing as a reaction to everything that's happening to him?
Real talk, this is a novice mage who just watched a bunch of guys who should have been way better at this. The best guy in this room got into a fight with an elf, blew up a wall, and she put his head through the fucking floor.
Right. Okay. So he's
that was the
right
leader.
Now.
This dude is shitting himself.
Cool.
As a crazy metal woman tears him apart.
I would like to non-lethally hook his neck and throw him down to the ground.
Make a grapple check. 1d12.
That's what I
might.
thought. That felt like a grapple. Plus what?
Might.
13.
6. So Farah, you tear into this guy as he turns and is like trying to do something. Jet hooks him, body slams him, and just has him in a fucking arm bar as Brunskull stands over him with one of those glowing like light daggers.
I lean into him and I say, "It is your best interest to surrender."
Yeah.
I surrender.
Farah is in the meantime, like, over top of him, standing over top of him, like, like breathing
just
heavy.
Panting.
Yeah, like, and like wild look in her eyes.
And there's just this like little shadow next to you guys.
Yeah, this shadow moves into the room. You see Pip comes down from the rafters where he's been watching and lands in the shadow. Just this little beak like sticking out the top of it.
Yeah.
Brunskull is standing there with a glowing dagger looking down at the sky. You see there's a little moment where he like twitches towards Farah, like, are you fucking all right? Just without looking away from his target. Jet, are you well?
I am well. I am coherent. Let us give him the opportunity for life.
Just making sure. We'll talk later. You. Who are you? My name, sir, is... Oh, yeah, no. Brunskull takes prisoners. He's fine.
Good.
Yeah. Now, Brunskull's not like a brutal old bastard. He's just, you know...
Yeah, I mean, I know. They...
Yeah. Right. My name is Reich. I don't want to die. Very few of us do. He kind of... Arilla, are you fine? She's like, I'm hurt, but I can walk. Please see to the other patrons as possible. And he starts kind of jumping forward a moment here. Brunskull helps you tie this guy up, effectively. Mm-hmm. Starts coordinating a response as Estelle Quick and the town guard show up a moment later. Roland has survived. He's got a mangled leg. A bunch of people in here are hurt badly, but might live, might not. A few people ran out of the tavern as soon as things started popping off. Brunskell starts kind of rounding up the immediate response as Estelle shows up and starts sorting things out. Brunskell pulls you guys off into like one of the back rooms. You two are welcome to come if you want. Jat, he's definitely bringing you, Arilla, and the prisoner. Are you two joining him?
No, I want to find the elf lady.
Okay, so Skink stays in the main room.
So, like, as this is happening, Farah, like, you see her visibly, like, shudder, and she loses the berserking, and she's going to cast Clot for 4 mana, and I'll spend a blood token on this, and that removes 6. I roll a d4. And that removes 1 round of bleeding for me, and then I remove 6 additional rounds of bleeding.
Yes. So, Farah patches herself up at the end of combat as she comes out of her berserk there. Skink, what you got?
So I think I dropped the shadow, so now I'm visible. And then I just have a question about Fleshcraft. As a spell, it says you heal non-infernal damage that the creature suffered, but then it says it also inflicts infernal damage. So
yes, so you're replacing. So if someone's got, let me look up these actual specifics here, but basically you're trading a small amount of infernal damage for a larger amount of other damage. So you're. Yeah,
okay.
Like you can remove like 10 slashing damage and inflict a little bit of infernal damage to replace it. So it's an imperfect healing.
Okay. But it keeps somebody from getting an affliction, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Chris, do I remove my affliction?
Yes. So you don't remove the affliction yet.
You remove anything that is not affliction, though.
Yes.
Right?
So as we come out of combat here, you guys kind of patch yourselves up. Farah using Clot to get rid of those last few rounds of bleeding so you don't take more damage and get a new affliction. We're going to end initiative. At the end of initiative, all of your damage and conditions like bleeding go away.
Okay.
Afflictions stick around.
Okay.
So Farah is going to be rattled until she can do something about it, get healed, get along like significant rest in, which can be more than 1 day.
Yeah.
Kind of get treatment. There's a couple of different ways to solve that we can get into in a moment, but let's play out the rest of this scene for now.
Yeah. So you said that Brunskell and Rila are approaching me?
Brunskell and Arilla, as like Estelle and the town watch show up, Brunskell is going to be like, we need to make ourselves scarce. You two are welcome to say goodbye. Yeah. We appreciate your help. But he is going to move. You see he does a trick that you've seen before.
Yeah.
He steps into like a broom closet and does a little illusion. Looks like part of the wall.
Okay. I hold a moment. And Arilla, I think, is there with me. And I'm just kind of like holding my hammers and like just looking at them. And I look at Arilla and I just go, you say it gets easier. And I just put them away.
Jad, I'm not going to tell you things get easier. I'm going to tell you you get better at dealing with them. Because I think that's more true.
I suppose it is. And I just head towards where the illusion is.
Yeah, and she's following it, but she does kind of linger for a second and looks over to Skink. Is she fishes around in her pack.
Ah, fish.
Nice. Tosses something into the air, a little shiny thing, and Pip jumps up and snags it.
Pip takes it.
Yes.
Wow.
And he hops down and like hands it to you, and it's just a little like shiny piece of like mica.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you put together like, oh, she just knew the bird would go for this.
Yeah.
And then she kind of waves and disappears into the illusory wall. Brunskull dragged the prisoner in with him. What are you two doing, my ladies?
I'm gonna go for Roland to try to help him.
Okay.
I want to check in on him.
Skink, you said you were investigating the elf?
I'm looking for Sai. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Roland will resolve first. Roland has dragged himself into the corner. He goes, Miss Farah, good to see you again.
Yeah.
He's this big, like, orc. He's like gritting his teeth and just kind of. Been a minute since anyone blew me up.
And what kind of damage do I see on him right now?
He's burned pretty severely on his leg. I think you can assess pretty quickly that, like, he's not in life-threatening danger.
Okay.
But he needs medical attention. He's hurt.
Okay. Is there medical attention coming, or do I need to help him find it?
You can ask him, and he'll tell you that, like, is the danger gone? And you see what he was crawling towards was actually, like, behind the bar, a little strongbox that has, like, been blasted kind of askew in the fight. There is a brace, like a bandolier of flintlock pistols in there.
Nice.
That he was crawling towards. And he was like, are there more of them?
Not as far as I know, and Estelle's here now.
He just goes, he's like leaning on the, just kind of like propping himself up like army crawl style. He just punches his fist through the wall, just like, and this is not like a drywall building. Like he just punched straight through a couple of boards.
Uh-huh.
Good. That's great. I will be okay. I appreciate the timely assistance.
I'm sorry this isn't my specialty of injury for healing. I would help you otherwise, but I will direct healers to you as soon as I can.
You see, he kind of sits up, grabs his shin that is like not straight, and just goes, "Ah!" and like snaps it back and goes, I'm good.
Right. All right.
Roland didn't know he used to be a bartender.
Right. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm not following.
I'm gonna then go over to Skink. And
I was gonna say, Skink, are you actively like digging in the pile?
Yeah, she got buried.
The elf got buried under rubble. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm trying to take apart the debris to uncover this mysterious elf, who's like, for some reason, everybody is dying in the same vicinity as this elf.
As you're digging through it, you move, you make a might check for me, actually. Let's do that. And Farah, if you would like to add to this as well, we're going to add them. Yeah, let's add them together.
It's an 8 for me.
8?
Mm-hmm.
It's an 11 for me. Shocking.
Beautiful. So group
I'm
together.
really into finding her.
Yeah, a 19. I think there's listen, might is any kind of physicality, right? So there's physically moving a ton of weight, and then there's goblin throwing a ton of stuff out of the way.
Yeah. She's just picking every small piece up she can.
Yeah, she's dislodging all this rubble, and Farah kind of moves a big rafter, and as soon as you guys kind of clear a little bit of space for there's some give in the pile, you see in the middle of it and a bunch of rubble kind of shifts and falls and slides out of the way, and Lady Sive stands up in the middle of it and just
we got your letter.
Good, I wanted to talk to you. We're going to end that scene for you guys right there. We're going to go over to wrap up Jat, Brunskull, and Arilla in the illusory back room with their prisoner before we cut out here.
Yeah.
Love it.
Jat, you are standing in a broom closet, effectively. And you see Brunskull take his hood down, and the image of an old man disappears. And you see the wizened Gaian that you know much better. Remind me what kind of Gaian Brunskull was?
He is a mountain Gaian.
Yes.
And I affectionately call him as a hard ass because it's a joke, because
It's literally
he is a hard ass, but he's also hard.
He just goes, Jet, I appreciate your curiosities. I do. I was even willing to accept that you went in advance of the rest of the party out of zeal for the job. But as I've been attempting to impress on Arilla here, she just kind of, you see that like she's gotten in trouble a couple of times this week probably, and she's kind of got that look of like, I fucked up, Jet. I really fucked up. Things are starting to happen. It is not safe for us here to operate independently. I don't wish to encroach on your sense of curiosity and wonder and excitement. I simply wish that you would exhibit a slight amount of caution. That's all. This man, do you recognize the robes?
I recognize the robes.
He's a scrivener, Jet.
I know he's a scrivener.
The spider is active.
I know the spider is active. God damn it. It's all about this shit, old man.
I
just wanted just a couple of days, because I've been locked in a fucking monastery for all my fucking life, you goddamn kidnappers. Thought I could just have a couple of drinks and dinners here and there, but I guess fucking not.
roll an insight, cleverness.
I was almost in that 12. That's gonna be 15.
You see that, like, you've known Brunskull for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously. He looks hurt. Brunskull, but, like, he is attempting to project what he thinks he's supposed to right now. But I think in this moment, in the heat, coming off the heat of battle and everything, you clock that Brunskull fucking gets it. Like, he doesn't want this for you. And he's just like, that's where he's at. And you see he kind of just pinches his brow and he's like, you should have that. You should.
If I'm supposed to be this fucking chosen one that you all fucking believe so fucking,
It's a
then
lot.
why does it hurt when I kill somebody? Yeah? Why does it fucking still hurt, asshole? Divine purpose, here I am.
That's not ever supposed to be your job.
And yet, I'm doing it.
It's
all I seem to fucking do.
Listen, I understand. I do. I get it. And Arilla is just like, we're in a room with a bad guy. The wall's not soundproof. I'm just saying. Love you guys.
Yeah.
And Brunskull just goes, I hear you. I get it. This shouldn't have happened. It is ultimately my responsibility that this happened, and I'm sorry that you went through that.
You know, I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. And I will say, to your credit, old man, it means a little bit more coming from you. I will give you that. But I'm getting a little fucking tired of this.
If I had a better way, I'd use it.
Yeah. Gets easier.
It
That's all I
doesn't.
hear is, oh, well, now you want to fucking
It
tell
doesn't.
me.
It fucking... You've never heard him curse before.
No, I will say that actually catches me a little off guard.
if there were can we go home? I know.
I don't know. Can we? Or do we have to be on a leash longer? I just kind of
I
dismissed myself from the conversation. I don't even want to say anything else.
he just holds his hand up and he goes, I actually think we should have a conversation about that. Because you are right. But let's not do it in a broom closet. He pulls out a scroll that you recognize as a scroll of recall. He goes, I do think we should talk to this fellow here. We'll get into it. And he opens the scroll, and the magic starts to swirl, and you, Arilla, the Scrivener, and Broomskull vanish from the broom closet. That is where we will end this episode of the Nyx Archive. I have been joined this evening by Mrs. Farah.
Maddie playing Farah. Bye, everybody.
The lovely Skink.
Marissa Montero signing off.
Our first ever guest star, Jet.
Jet Sapor, Scott Corrigan, logging off.
And CD Corrigan. I have been everybody else. Hope you're enjoying your life, and have a good night. Or day, or whatever. I always say good night, because it's night when we record. Shut up, I'm leaving.
No, you gotta do the thing. It's wherever you are in your day.
Wherever you are in your day. Bye.
Can that just be the official sign off, actually?